Hey rugby fans, welcome back to my channel. Now my name is Ralph and welcome back to Rugby Fanatic. I thought in this video we'll dive into my starting 15 prediction as the ABs prepare to face France this Saturday at Fourth Bath Stadium in Dunedin. So it's going to be an epic clash and I'm looking forward to this clash. And it's going to be difficult for Scott Robertson as he announced his team. And yeah, I thought in this video we'll talking tactics and also some key players choices and why I've left out some big names as well. So let's get into it. So here's the list I'm rolling with. I mean, it's a blend of experience, some fresh talent, and also tactical consideration as well. I mean, first off, let's break down the starting 15 and also my bench. And keep in mind, this is based on current form and team dynamics, and what I believe gives the All Blacks the best chance to take on France. And you know, France is a dangerous team, and we can't underestimate the French side. I mean, you know, they're the best team. They beat us last year in the Northern Tour, so we're ready for redemption. And hopefully, Scott Robertson does make the right decision in terms of selections this time. Hopefully, he gets it right and bring in some fresh faces as well. I mean, we knew, you know, we need new talent, and you know, we need new talent, fresh players, you know, filling in different positions and just try out things and new combinations. I think that's probably what we need. And I thought I'd just, you know, bring in some technical sense into the squad. So starting with our loose head props. Now, starting with the front row, I went with Ethan de Groot. I mean, he's obviously, you know, last year he was a workhorse and the scrummaging has been top notch. But he brings in that edge that's going to be essential against France. I mean, his experience and, you know, it's going to be a physical battle against the French side. But his mobility around the park is a huge asset. So I've gone with Ethan de Groot. And then a hooker, starting at hooker, I went with Cody Taylor. Now, Taylor always brings that experience and precision and also in set pieces as well. And his you know, linchpin in our scrum and lineouts, you know. Plus he's, you know, got that dangerous work rate in the loose. So I went with Cody Taylor. And then we had number 3, we went with Tyrell Lomax. You know, he's a key as well in that front row, you know, experience. You know, you know, he's capable since last year. You know, he was dominant in the scrums. So, yeah, you can't ignore him in that starting 15. So I went with Tyrell Lomax. And then number 4, this is a tough one. I went with Tupu Va'ai. Now, a lot of people have said that he needs to go in the back row, like in the flanks, the loosies. But I think, you know, the good thing about Tupu Va'ai, I mean, he's quite flexible, so he can, you know, play in different, he can utilize in different positions. So, using Tupu Va'ai just as injury cover would be amazing. I mean, he's such a versatile player. You know, he's a real force in the engine room. You know, he's got that blend of mobility, power, and also that jumping ability in the lineouts and the set piece. I mean, we need someone who can challenge, you know, France physicality, but also keep the pace up. And Tupu Va'ai is a perfect, you know, perfect fit for that. So he fits the bill, and I think, you know, he's quite an all-round player, so he can cover the back row if needed, you know. And at number 5, obviously, Scott Barrett, he's the captain. Barrett is your, you know, classic big match player. I mean, his leadership and aerial dominance, his physicality, exactly what we need in a game like this. Now, a lot of people, there's been some controversial around, you know, talks around captaincy. You know, as much as I want Artie to be captain, like that, honestly, but unfortunately, you know, when we think about Scott Barrett's performance and also, you know, his influence behind the scene, and you know, he's won a Super Rugby champion, and his influence in the Crusaders environment is huge, and we don't see that. So, you know, I think he's a captain for a reason, not just because he's a Crusader, but it's more than that. You know, just his influence, you know, his dominance, and you know, he's quite vocal, and you know, he just does his job. So As much as I want Adi, and for you fans want Adi to be captain, I think we're talking about the All Blacks. We're not talking about Moana, but I think All Blacks is on a different level, and I think the environment is quite different. So he is our captain, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So moving on, we've got Sammy Penny Finau. Now Finau has the ability to disrupt the breakdown, so he'll slot in at 6. For blindside, he's a strong ball carrying ability in tight areas, and it's going to be crucial. He can provide a physical presence, and his offload game that the French will struggle to contain. So, he's got the skill set, and looking forward to what's in store for Finau in 2025. So I've slotted him at 6. And then we have number 7, Duplessis Karifi. I mean, I'm going with Dupes. I mean, I believe Karifi offers more speed. He's quite dynamic at the breakdown. His ability against teams like France, who thrive on quick ball, plus his work rate is absolute insane. I mean, he's a workhorse. And he's a disruptor as well, especially on that ruck and that breakdown. He's going to be a wrecking ball, and a real force as well. So I went with Duplessis at number 7. And then we have number 8, Adi Savea, our vice captain. I mean, Adi is an absolute monster at number 8. He's quite, flexible. He can play anywhere in the back row, but he can break tackles, defend like a beast, and he's got that vision to move, into first receiver as well, and when needed. He's a game changer in open play, in my opinion. So good thing about Adi, I mean, a lot of you guys want him to play at 7, but he's just he's versatile. He can play where anywhere in the back row, wherever Razor needs him to be. But I think number 8 is probably where he's gonna be, unfortunately. But we will love him to be at number 7. But we've got some fresh talent coming through. So I put Adi there. And then moving on to our backs. We've got halfback number 9, we've got Cam Roygaard. I went with Roygaard because he has shown that he's ready for the big stage. We've seen that last year. I mean, his speed, passing, accuracy, and control at the base of the ruck. And he's a vital, against, a team like France. I mean, he brings that spark, and we need a halfback like that. So I went with Cam Roygaard at number 9. And then number 10, we've got Damien McKenzie at first 5. I mean, Damien brings creativity and flair. He's electric. He's a fly half beast, and honestly, he can create space with his vision, and he has kicking game to take us around the park, and plus the calmness under pressure, and that's vital in tight games. So I went with Damien McKenzie at 10. And then 11, I'm sure he'll go with Scott Robertson will go with Caleb Clark. Clark had a quiet season in the Super Rugby, but I guess Clark is the perfect guy. I mean, for that left wing, I mean, his power, pace, and ability to finish in the corner are unmatched. And he also stand up, against France physicality. So he's got speed that will hurt them out wide. And unfortunately, Scott Robertson will go with him in terms of selection. Then we have our centres, our midfield. So I went with Jordan Tupaia. Now, Tupaia brings that strong, direct game. I mean, that running game. And that's going to be key, bending the French defence. And also we need someone to break the line. And, Tupaia's a guy who can do that, based on his size and speed. And it's great to see Jordan Tupaia back into the team. And he's got some experience under his belt, but injuries sort of got in the way. But now he's back, and he's gets his opportunity. So I went with Jordan Tupaia at 12. And then 13, I went Billy Proctor. I mean, the outside centre, Proctor offers a brilliant balance of defence and attack, and his ability to get over the gain line, and combined with his tough as nails defence, makes him perfect for the high pressure, situations against France. Now, I think Billy Proctor is the whole package. He's just the complete, midfielder for me, in my opinion. He's the future, man. So I thought, I'll try out some different combinations, and I thought maybe Tobias and Billy Proctor can make a huge impact in that midfield. So I went with those two. And then we're going with the right wing. So we're going with number 14, Sevu Reece. Now, Reece has been phenomenal in the Super Rugby, and Reece is always a threat. And with his blistering pace and his ability to finish, his work rate in defence will be, also be crucial as well. I mean, when shutting down the French attack on the outside. So I went with Sevu Reece at number 14. And then, yes, in my opinion, best fullback, I went with Will Jordan. Will Jordan has been the standout fullback. I mean, in real rugby and for a while now. Anticipation, counter-attacking and abilities, and eye for the try line, make him dangerous no matter what scenario he's in or pressure situation. But his aerial play is just, unstoppable. And you've seen that in the final against Chiefs. He was just up, in those high balls. So he's a key player to have in that starting 15. So I went with Will Jordan. And then we go into our bench, number 16, George Bower. I mean, he's a solid impact off the bench. Now, Tamati Williams, I heard he's injured, but Bower can take control of the scrum, and also he can carry hard. He provides that vital fresh legs in the second half. And then 17, I went with Basilio Dossi. I mean, Dossi's a beast. I mean, he's making a mark, in Super Rugby with his power and his ability to get in the trenches in tight situations. And then Sammy Tukiahoe, I went with him at 18. He got that raw strength and also can cause chaos at the scrum time. And, especially against a solid French side, this is going to be important, especially with their scrum pressure as well. And then 19, I went with Fabian Holler. Fabian Holland, honestly, is another guy who brings some grit, and also in that second row, his aerial presence will be needed and is key. Moments of the line out and the set piece, especially with the French pack pressuring. So I went with Fabian Hollard. And we're moving on to number 20. I went with Cortez Ratama. I mean, Ratama's got that sappy passing game, and he can bring some speed, full of energy and unpredictability as well to change up the tempo if needed. So I went with Cortez Ratama at number 20. And then number 21, yes, the veteran, Beauden Barrett. Beauden is always an option, off the bench to bring, that extra leadership. And he's proven to be able to step in under pressure and change the flow of the game when required. So, the good thing about Barrett, he can play anywhere. So I went with Beauden Barrett at number 21. And then number 22, yes, the wild card, the man himself, Tavatava Nawai, the Highlanders midfield. He's his versatility is key here, and Tavatava Nawai, he can slot in as a winger or fullback. So, and his pace will be a key weapon to stretch the French defence. So I went with Tavatava Nawai at number 22. And then last but not least, number 23, I went with Christian Leo Willie. Now, this guy is, he's quite versatile. Finally, Christian Leo Willie, his agility, footwork will make him a danger off the bench in tight situation, providing, fresh legs for potential game-changing moments. So I went with him. So there you guys, have it. I mean, I did drop Reiko, Ioane, and also Jordie Barrett from the starting 23. It's not about talent. I mean, both are world-class players. But here's the thing. I mean, Jordie Barrett hasn't played Super Rugby. He's played over in Leinster, over in Ireland this season. And, he's making waves over there. He's dominating. And for him to be coming back into the game, this is intense. Without that match, fitness is a risk. And he's a fantastic player, but I think right now we need the guys who are in peak form, and also we want to try out different combination. As I said, we want to talk tactical here. And if we want to try things, leading up to the Rugby World Cup in 2027, we might as well put in these, new talent, and we've got 5 debutants. So, we want to utilize those players, and it's time for a fresh start. It's 2025, 2024 is gone. We want what's best for our ABs. And there's already fresh talent coming through, as I said. Billy Proctor, David Davanawa, and Jordan Tupaia. Hopefully he's consistent, doesn't get injured. It's time for the All Blacks to bring in new blood and develop for the future, as I mentioned. And I want fresh faces, a fresh mentality, and someone ready to make their mark against France. So there you have it, guys. That's my starting 15 against France. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with my picks, or do you think I've overlooked, someone, or taken too big of a gamble on the younger players? So drop your comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Be interesting. Thanks for tuning in. Keep supporting my channel. Please like and subscribe for more rugby content, and keep supporting your rugby teams and keep the rugby spirit alive. And we will see you in the next video.